Welcome to our webinar. We are ready to start presenting our new topic of the month. Today, we're going to be focusing on how you should create your local strategy for social media. And we're going to walk you through all the steps on what you should have in mind to do this. Remember that at IAM Labs, we help you do all of this. We help franchisees from different brands to manage and design and schedule and everything regarding their social media channels. And here we're going to talk about specifically how to create your strategy from scratch. I'm going to introduce Ariela. She's our head of customer service. She's been working with customer service for more than 15 years, and she's going to explain how you can do this on your own and how we help you do it as well, so that you can learn more about how to manage your local social media. Welcome, Ari, and we're really happy to have all of you here. Let's begin.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'm very excited to start. So first, we're going to dive into what you learned today. So basically, the first thing we need to know is where to start, how to build your local strategy, what you need to know and identify. You need to plan your content strategy, and all of these important points that I'm going to walk you through in a second. So let's begin. So first, as I was mentioning, where to start. You need to build your local strategy, identifying very important things about your business. So the first thing that you need to know is, what are your goals? If you're a UPS store owner and you want to maybe have more signups for mailboxes, if you're a Papa John's and you're looking to have more traffic to your website and selling more pizzas, or a Dairy Queen owner and you need to sell more blizzards, this needs to be very clear in your mind as to what you want to accomplish with social media. So we start with goals. Then the struggles, and this is very important because you might have inherited a store that was previously owned by an owner that didn't care about his customers or his online reputation, or maybe you're at a location where it's hidden in a mall and you need to create awareness and visibility online. So that could be also part of your struggles. The location details. So if you're in a suburb where there's not a lot going on, or if you're in the middle of a city and there's a lot of competition, all of these things matter and need to be identified by you so that you have your strategy. And last but not least, your buyer persona. So at IAM Labs, we have an exercise that we like to do, which is making up a buyer persona per brand, and we name the person. So for instance, if you own an Orange Theory gym, so maybe your buyer persona is Cindy. She likes to work out. She spends a lot of her time on Instagram, and she likes to eat healthy. So now that we have our buyer persona clear, we know what we can start creating, how we want our business to sound like, what do we want to say to Cindy. So this is a very important exercise that you should be doing in order to have clear who you're speaking to and what your target audience looks like. So now that we have these details, we have our goals, we have our struggles, the location details, and the buyer persona, we're going to move on to our content plan. And this basically means, and I'm going to go into each point in the next slides, but we're going to localize your profiles. We're going to figure out how many times you're going to be posting a week or a month, the tools that we should be using and the platforms we should be in, what to post, and the ads. So as I was mentioning, we're going to localize your profile. And what does this mean? Here's a clear example of a localized profile. So we're going to start with a profile picture. So this is localized clearly. We have the logo, the images, the colors. We mentioned where it's located at so that people can find you easily. Then we're gonna move on to the bio. So for those who don't know, this is the bio right here. It's like a small biography of your business, and it's very important that we have it localized, and that it says your main services or products that you're trying to sell, your phone number. It needs to pop. We put a little bit of emojis to make it pop a little bit with color. And basically the most important things of your business are gonna go right here. So this is step number 2. Then we're gonna have your phone number and address. And this, for obvious reasons, is very important. We're also gonna have your link to the site, and your store hours have to be updated. Now, it's very important to have this very up to date, because if someone is looking for your information and they see that you're open at 9 a.m., for instance, and they go to your store and you're closed, it's gonna be very disappointing for the person. And not only they're not gonna come back to your business, but they're gonna tell everyone they know that you're not a serious business. So it's very important to localize your profile and optimize it so that it's up to date with the information, the current information, the address, the profile picture, the bio, so everything we just spoke about. So now that we have our localized profile, we're gonna move on to, the content plan, but the tools that we need to be using, the posting frequency, and the platforms. So this is very important that we have clear, because you can make your life easier if you're starting this journey on your own, or if you're not gonna rely on someone to help you out. This tool can help you tremendously. This tool that you're seeing here is called the Meta Business Suite. And we love this one because, first of all, it's free and it's very easy to use, and it gives you a bigger picture of your month, basically. So you can plan ahead, and also by planning ahead, you release you don't have the stress of that, the constant pressure of that you have to be posting. What are you going to post? What are you going to design? But if you sit down and you make or design content cohesively, thinking about your buyer persona and all of the things we just spoke about, it's going to be much easier to make it come together and alive. So Meta Business Suite. Now we're going to moving on to the posting frequency. So here at IM Labs, we post 2 times a week. We recommend sticking to something realistic like that, because we don't want to overdo it either by oversaturating the market and our audiences and being very intense by posting every day, because nobody likes that. But we, on the contrary, we don't like to just post twice a month, because then we're not doing anything and we're not having consistency. So this is very important that you figure it out. Obviously, it depends on your target audiences as well, but 2 times or 3 times a week works perfectly, and it's manageable. Also, we've seen that some store owners have told us that either corporate, like their corporate offices, either don't post at all or post every day, but things that aren't resonating with the audiences. So it doesn't matter if you're posting every day, but if your content is not relevant or isn't conveying anything that your audiences connect with, then we're not doing a proper job at this. So the frequency, and also the type of posts that we're gonna design or we're gonna schedule. It's very important to have variety. So if it's a post, if it's a video, if it's a carousel, that also depends on your audiences. So if you see that you're posting several types of content and maybe the carousel had more of a traction and likes and engagement, then you know that your audiences are connecting more with that type of content, and that's also very important to see. Also, the platforms. So if you're targeting younger audiences, you might want to be on TikTok, for instance, where younger people are spending most of their time. If you're ranging in more variety of ages, then you might want to be on Instagram, on Facebook. We do recommend Facebook, Instagram, and Google. And that's the three we're mainly doing right now because it includes a lot of these ages and a lot of people, and people are spending most of their time in these ones, and it's very important. Okay, so now that we have the tools that we're going to use, so the Meta Business Suite, as I said, it's easy to use. It lets you see the bigger picture so that you can create more cohesive content, the posting frequency, and the platforms that we're going to be on. So now that we have that, what should you be posting? So this is very important also to consider because you need to have clear what your business wants to, like, you need to be creative but not lose your business's like the brand's guidelines and colors and feel. So this is also where we come in, and we know that this is a lot of things and a lot of small details that need to be taken into account, and that's where we come in. We help you with everything. We create very compelling pieces of content, and here's 3 examples. There's a lot more, but here we chose 3 examples that we wanted to show you. So what type of things can you tell your audiences? So we don't want to just sell because people see right through that. So here, the first example is engagement. So we're inviting the audiences to engage with the post. It's a little bit more fun. It's another take on just like showcasing your product, but in a fun way. So it invites people to engage. And this obviously makes them connect with the brand a little bit more, but we're not losing the colors of the brand and like the look and feel of the brand, but it's a little bit more fun. Then we have a product promotion. So as the name clearly states, you're showcasing exactly what you're offering. The promotion that you're offering, 30% off, it is clear, it's organized, it's localized. Here you can see where the promotion is gonna be taking place. This is a video, so I'm gonna play it for you guys so that you can see how we design things at IM Labs. Okay, so that was the video. It's fun, it's dynamic, it tells you exactly what you need to know, but in a fun, different way. And the third type of content that we see that works very well is giving tips and tricks, obviously having to do with the product or service that you're offering. And audiences really connect with this because they like to learn, they like to know more. So if we give them tricks with how to use our product, for instance, then they're gonna want to connect more and know more. So these are 3 examples of things that you can be posting, so that we don't sound just like we want to sell, but we want people to connect with our brand a little bit more. So now that we know what to post, let's talk about ads. We actually have a webinar that we had last month, speaking about meta ads and the importance and all of the details regarding this. It's very important that you do ads because we're not doing anything if we're just posting organically, but we have very few followers that are actually seeing our content. So ads is something that you definitely need to be doing. If you want to learn more about ads, please go onto YouTube and search for our webinar regarding ads. You can search IM Labs, and there you'll see all of the webinars we've given in prior months. But this is very important, and I cannot stress this enough. You need to be doing ads, even if it's with a minimum budget. You need to be relevant in that space. So this is very important. So we need to be very consistent, and this is maybe the most important thing that I want to convey today, is that you need to avoid short-term intensity. And that what that means is that sometimes we start very excited and we want to post, like as a business owner, oh, I'm gonna post this and I'm gonna do that, and you start posting every day, and then 2 weeks go by and you stop posting, you forgot about it, I'll do it later, I didn't want to schedule in advance, and that's very detrimental to your online health. You need to aim for long-term consistency, because social media is a labor of love, and we need to be watering it and giving it attention and constantly feeding it so that it starts gaining traction and we start getting to a lot of people. We can start building a community. We need to be consistent. We need to be consistent with the ads. We need to be consistent in Google. So if we see that customers are leaving reviews, whether they're positive or negative, we need to be responding constantly to those, because if not, it gives a sort of a, it makes people doubt your business in general. We need to be answering all of the comments on Facebook, on Instagram, being on top of everything, monitoring everything, making sure everything is up to date with the profile that we saw before as well, your store hours, your link to your website. Everything needs to be up to date and needs to be very consistent and aligned, because if we offer something online that we're not offering in store, then it creates a very big problem with our customers, and basically we lose seriousness. So this is the most important part, just to bring it all together. Consistency is key, and we should definitely shoot for the long-term consistency. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining, all of you. If there's any questions, you can always email us. If you want to learn more about us, scan the QR code, or you can email us. Here's the information. And yeah, thank you so much for joining.